Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll start this by introducing myself. My name is Ivana, and I'm a BIM and digital engineering lead here at Maze. I'll tell you a bit. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Autodesk for inviting me to be their speaker. We're running a number of really great initiatives with Autodesk in our business, and I'll be talking about them a bit later. I'll start by telling you a few things about myself and my background. I'm a qualified architect. I have around 15 years of experience in AC industry. I used to kind of started my career by specializing in the use of Autodesk products, and I used to be an approved Autodesk improved instructor. And I'm also cluster lead for Autodesk Construction Cloud and a member of Autodesk Steering Board at Maze Group. I'll tell you a few things also about Maze in case that you don't know us. We're a tier 1 contractor. We work across 21 different sectors from our 5 global hubs around the world. As a business, we're split into 4 different engines, which are develop, consult, construct, and operate. I have to say the fact that came from the consultant background really helped me to get into construction. So I'm currently working for our construction engine here. I wanted to talk to you about my experience with the digital transformation. So as part of my career, I've implemented a number of solutions for a few different contractors, and I'll be telling you more about it. But what I wanted to start with is this thing here. So I think we've all heard about how backwards construction is in terms of digitalization, how things haven't changed in decades. We're one of the least digitalized industries in the world. And I often get the question, how do I put up with it all? I think a big misperception from my point of view is that construction doesn't want to change. I have to say, preparing for this and thinking back, I can't remember many people who actually came to me and said, Ivana, we just don't want to do it. What I did hear very often is, Ivana, we really don't know how to do it. So I think we should actually change a dialogue and look at things from a different perspective. So instead of thinking that construction doesn't want to change, maybe we need to start thinking that construction just doesn't know how to change. And this is why I think I really enjoy my role, because we can, if you believe that you can make a change, I think you can make a really positive impact and you can make a big difference in this industry. I'll talk about my experience with the implementation of digital technologies. I've implemented a number of them, as I said on both consultant and construction side. On the construction side, I've implemented BIM 360 next generation, VR technologies, AR, and reality capture tools like HoloBuilder. In terms of how did that happen, I have to say that changes in technology have been really quick. I only moved to construction 3.5 years ago, and I have to say things that we were doing back then can't compare with what we are doing now. So, if you think about all of these changes, we need to keep in mind that technology changes so fast, and whatever was the right solution in 2015 is probably not the right solution nowadays. And also, if you have a project that's finishing in 5 years from now, the things that you're planning for it now might not be the right answer. So I think if you're dealing with digital implementation, what you need to really be focused on or aware of are these changes that are constantly happening, and you need to be flexible. And you need to be also willing to kind of revise your strategies. And sometimes you might even need to, change them during the process. Also, in terms of your kind of vision, you need to, obviously, technology comes with its cost. So I think in terms of the vision, you need to define it really early on, straight from the tender stage. But as I said, if you have really long-term jobs, be aware of the fact that you might need to change things with time. I think another thing that's really important is working in construction, we need to support people with the right technology. In terms of it, just kind of always try putting yourself into other people's shoes. So, I often see solutions which, they might be great, but they're actually really complicated. And, if you think that someone whose primary job is not to use, isn't to use technology, will need to use this, you need to, you can't make it too complicated for them. So I think you always need to keep your sites, if you're implementing something on site, you need to keep your sites in mind and find solutions that are really easy to use. So I'm kind of trying to give you tips to implement things that are not gonna cause problems and fail at the end because of it. Another thing that I've seen during the implementation of these solutions is there's so many things out there. There are, applications. There are a number of startups out there releasing new software every week or every month. There are all of these updates coming out, which is great. And I think we've seen so many positive changes because of it. But I think also you need to be careful and kind of minimize the number of products that you want to use to maximize the impact. So you need to really assess them and understand what's the right tool for the job, and try not confusing people by using different tool on different job just for the sake of saying that you're using all of these different solutions. Another challenge that you might have working for a big business is obviously big businesses are really hard to change. They can also be very oriented towards procedure. And as I said, changes in technology are so frequent that this could become challenging. So what we've tried doing at Mace is finding the right balance in between having all the right workflows and procedures in place, but also have space where we can do testing and implement new solutions. So what we'll normally do is we keep auditing or reviewing new software out there. And then we'll normally do trials. We'll look at the jobs and solutions, their needs and requirements and solutions out in the market and try kind of matching them together, finding the right tool for the right job. We would test things on a smaller scale. Obviously, first we test things in the office very carefully. Then we'll test things on a smaller project. And if we see benefits, then we might decide to implement things across the board. But also, we want to be flexible. So we don't want to say that we've just chosen the one thing and we're not going to use anything else for the next 10 years because this is something that would really leave us behind. I want to give you some top tips on implementation of new technologies. I've been told many times that things are not going to work and what am I talking about and so on. And I did get a successful result at the end, luckily. I'm not going to give you a manual on how to write all the procedures and workflows that you need to implement something. I'm sure if you just Google for it, you'll find plenty of information on that type of stuff. But what I want to kind of give you is a different perspective and my personal opinion on, what do I do that makes a difference and why do I sometimes get a positive result when people don't believe that things are gonna succeed. So I think the first really important thing is to have a vision. So don't just think about, how things are done now, just think about how do you want to see them in the future. So what's your, ideal type of scenario and how should things work in an ideal world. And then you can kind of look for the solutions out there to kind of, which are the closest match to what you're trying to achieve. So you need to dream big. Then do your research. I think this is really, really important. So look at the things which are out there and make sure to test things. So investigate what's out in the market, and please be aware that you need to keep doing it. Things change so quickly. Then another really important thing, this is actually also a key thing, is to test your product. What I get often is we talk to all of these salespeople who promise us loads of things, and you'll be surprised how often it happens that one of the main features that is kind of a selling point for the software doesn't really work. We've seen it too many times. Just make sure that you have 3 options out there. Get a trial, play with it, test it, and see if things actually work. As I said, you would be surprised to see how often this doesn't happen, and you just take it for granted. Another thing that I wanted to mention here, and it's related to both research and testing the product. Don't think that when you kind of grow in your career and you reach one of the senior roles, that you can lose touch with technology. That's also something that I see quite often nowadays, and I think it's really important to stay relevant. Obviously, I do have a team of people who work on these looking for new tools and do testing and stuff. But I have to say, I do still do these things by myself as well. I'll open the software, I'll watch tutorials, I'll play with it, I'll test it, I'll know, what is it used for, and I'll actually know how to use it. And I think that's really, really important. And if you spend too much time away, you'll kind of lose the link with it. And I think it's there is a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding as a consequence of it. So stay relevant and stay on top of the latest technology. Know your people. I think one reason why we really lose people is because we lose connection with them. There was a group of guys on one of the sites who told me once, when I was teaching them how to use one of the tools, they told me, Ivana, we just realized that the technology fails because no one talks to us. So in terms of trainings, obviously, you need to have a structured training where you'll get everyone in the room and explain to them how to use the tool. But what we also do is on each one of our sites, depending on the size, we'll have one or a few, as an example of use of the field tools. We'll have one or a few guys who are product champions. So these are construction managers. They're not, they don't have any technological background or anything like that. And we'll really train them to know everything about the tool. And what's important is that they can provide us with feedback, and they can also help the team out on site. I have to say, I have a personal connection with these people, and I really know who they are. So on each one of the sites, I'll know name and surname of the person who is responsible for it. So I'm not just gonna, I said the other day, well, you're not gonna implement BIM 360 Field or any other field solution by sitting in the office. I think, you need to get out of the office, go to the site, know the people there, understand their problems, and understand, how can we use technology to make them more productive. And as I said, a really important thing is that they know that they can reach out. They know who we are. They know my whole team. They'll know me. They know that they can reach out. And if they have any questions, we'll work on it. So again, we had an example the other day where an app was just crashing. And after 3 days, literally everyone on site had enough. They have better things to do than deal with the app that's crashing. And it reached the point where they were thinking about not using the technology anymore and just going back to paperwork. So this is like a really, bizarre example where technology can fail. At the end, because they knew that they can come to us, we got in touch with the software company. They released a fix. It all got sorted a few days later. But I'm just what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're not on top of it, you might lose people on your way. And then the last one is be a rebel. I think that's you can't think that you're going to change the industry that hasn't changed in a long time. But just agreeing to everyone and agreeing to everything and know what and not hearing no ever. So I've heard no many times. Actually, with some of my best ideas, I was told that I called them a game changer, and I was told that that's a complete insanity. One of them was when I dragged a VR backpack to one of our sites. At the end, that turned out to be a great idea. The client loved it. We ended up doing loads of presentations with them and implementing the technology on loads of other jobs as well. So the point is, you need to be bold, and you need to be very open. You need to talk to people, and if you hear no, you'll need to either go to the next person or kind of find a different approach. So what I often do is I kind of think, what's important for the person who I'm talking to. So if they have an MEP background, I'll focus on doing something that's related to one of the planters on the job. Or if I'm talking to someone from the architectural background, I'll find something that might design oriented, that might interest them more. But as I said, if you want to make a change, you need to be really persistent. I'll talk also about something we call EBA, which is Enterprise Business Agreement, which we have now with Autodesk. So this is a great tool for us because basically it gives us access to all of their kind of catalog of the latest ASC solutions. We also have an ability to run pilots with Autodesk and do research of all the new tools that are being released. We get early access to their products before they come out. We're also running a customer success program, which is allowing us to show benefits to the business. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is, if you want to stay on top of the game, you need to have access to the best technology, and you need to be able to use it. So I really think that this access to all of the different solutions is giving us a huge competitive advantage. I'll talk about a few things that we've implemented recently. So in terms of design and coordination, 40 Leadenhall project is one of the landmark projects in the city of London. At the beginning of the lockdown, the project implemented BIM 360 design, which enabled consultants and the supply chain to exchange files really quickly. And that supported them when it came to working from home and made the team more productive than they would be normally. We had a great experience on our Harwell projects with BIM 360 docs and model coordination, where we managed to improve productivity. We managed to reduce the amount of time that we spend on clash detections and coordination. And by enabling better collaboration in between different sides, we managed to reduce the amount of time that we spend on resolving issues itself. In terms of the field, on our UCL East project in Stratford, which is just next to the Olympic Stadium and in a great location next to the Olympic Stadium and the orbit, we implemented BIM 360 build, which includes field management and assets. And as an example, assets module was implemented. It was released, I believe, in June, and we managed to implement it in less than a month after the release. So this is a great example of how agile we are and how quickly we react to new solutions out there. We are also running a group called Construction to Production. This group is focused on offsite manufacturing and using new cutting-edge technologies to support offsite manufacturing. One of the great examples is our NO6 project, East Village in Stratford, which uses a technology called Skyrise Solutions. There is a great presentation that was held yesterday at the conference, and you can watch the recording if you would like to know more about it. But basically, this meant that we can shorten the program, improve the quality, improve the safety, and have a positive impact on sustainability as well. Also, we are trying, by having this group in-house, we are trying to spread the solution around the business. This being Women in Construction Conference, I wanted to reflect on how does it feel to be a woman in construction, and just tell you a few more things about careers in this digital part of the industry. This is what I often get when I tell people that work in construction. So I think for those who don't know how construction works nowadays, I think they don't really expect me to say that I work in construction. I think this is kind of the picture of the industry that they have in their head. I think this is kind of what my colleagues think that I do. A, because they know that I wouldn't go anywhere without my tablet, and B, apparently there's this thing where anyone IT related needs to have their spirit animal or something like that. Yeah, I think that's kind of their vision. And then I think this is more, this reflects reality more. Although, yeah, what you can see on the screen are 3D models, whereas I think I've also added many Power BI diagrams and spreadsheets to the screen recently as well. Also, I can't really count the number of VR headsets that I've tested so far, meaning that actually a great part of this job is that all of these cool tech items will often land on my desk, and you'll get to play with some really cool technology and solutions out there. I often get asked, how do you get into BIM, or how do you get into digital construction? I think there's no kind of straightforward answer when it comes to it. What we do is quite new. I started very, very early on by doing 3D modeling at university and working as a trainer. So I started basically years before the industry was even using 3D models or BIM. But when you look at my colleagues, many of them come from either architectural or engineering background. And I really think that these roles are a great mixture in between a career in tech and engineering, but also there are people who start differently. As I said, when I look around, I think the common theme is that we are ex-architects and engineers, but they are different paths. You might have a traditional role in construction and come over, and we can potentially train you to move into digital engineering. When it comes to a typical day, there is no such a thing as a typical day, I have to say. A great thing about it is that, one day you're in the office and you're just, testing the latest technology or the latest release of some software. And then a day later, you'll be on site checking what guys are doing there. Do they need any support? I think a great thing is that you get to meet many people. So if you're an outgoing person as me, you might really enjoy that aspect. And what I really enjoy in construction, you get to work with people who are very, very different and very interesting. And talking about it, one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning when I said that I refuse to believe that construction doesn't want to change. We have people in the industry who are working on some really, really technically challenging projects. So in my own sector, as an example, we have people working on national satellite training centers. So, I really feel if they can deal with that, then we can, we can probably teach them to use technology as well. I have to say another thing in terms of opportunities for women. I think digital engineering is great because it really opened many kind of the fact that we have these additional roles on top of the traditional careers in construction attracts many women to the industry. I've seen teams growing in the last few years. We have more and more roles in this sector. So I've seen teams growing from, 5, maybe 3.5 years ago to teams of almost 30 people. And as I said, a great thing is I've seen more and more women joining this sector. In my own team, there are only a few of us, but actually at the moment 50% of us are female, and actually females are on senior positions. Also at Mace, we've started Women at Mace network. Which is focusing on different topics around women in the industry and issues like pay gaps and how to achieve gender balance and so on. And then I started this by how do you get into digital construction? Well, the way I got into it is I applied for a job. So if you're not sure if this is for you, but you think that, it's something that you might be interested in, I think always a great step to find out more about what's happening out there is to go to job interviews, meet different people, and just, hear what they do. And, you might discover that things look much more exciting than what you originally thought. So please, if you're interested, if you're in construction doing something else, but you might be interested in moving into the digital world, please come to talk to us or apply for a job. This sector is very new, which means that, and with a growing number of roles, it means that we really need more good people around. And I'll finish this talk with a really important thing. Do I think, I get asked if I think that working in construction is challenging? Yes. I also think that, working in any other industry would be challenging as well. I have to say, obviously, for me, going from the consultant side to construction, that was a big challenge. I never regretted it, and I really enjoy what I do. But I have to say, on my way here, one thing that made a difference when I had a bad day, or I didn't know what to do, or and there are different situations that might happen, is the support that I got from other women around me. So, I would really like to ask you to be that woman who supports the other women. And if you see someone else, someone new joining the team and they're just sitting in the corner and no one talks to them, or they're a bit shy, go to them, take them out for a coffee. If you see that someone is having a bad day on site and finding it difficult, again, just talk to them and try providing support. And I think, as I said, I think that's something. I had some really amazing women and men actually around me who really helped me out at the beginning when it was difficult. So hopefully we can spread that around and get everyone on board and get more women in this industry. Thank you so much for listening. That was it from me. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, could you please type them below and I'll answer those.